Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Coach's Corner with ISU football coach Rob Phenicie. I'm Jerry Miller, and we're here to talk Bengal football today. And Coach, Saturday's loss to Sacramento State was heartbreaking, but what are your takeaways after studying the film?
Well, once again, I thought our offensive line played pretty well. We had some opportunities for some bigger runs, but we played pretty physical up front. I like the way that they protected as well. They did a good job. Our defense held them to less points than a Pac-10 team and held them to stopped them. Bend but don't break, and held them to field goals in the second half, and that's what we needed to capitalize offensively. And then I thought our special teams played really well, except for one critical penalty at the beginning of the third quarter. But actually, we had another one on punt team that led to a touchdown drive. But we had a kickoff return for a touchdown, which is always good to see, and it helps. And our punter averaged about 50 yards a kick, and he's number one in the nation in punting, and our punt team is number one in the nation in net punt, which is a key special team statistic. And we're number one in the nation in kickoff returns now. So David Fiafia is doing a great job, got a great job, great buy-in with our special teams and the kids on the special teams. And we're going to build off of that.
Coach, it's tough when you lose two quarterbacks in the same game. How many times have you had that happen to you in your career?
Yeah, I don't think at least Hunter came back. We didn't lose him permanently, but and Tyler's going to be back too. So, but it's I don't think I ever have, about 30 years of coaching.
One other thing I thought was really great. We hadn't seen the Bengals get any sacks in the first two games, and they got to sack State a handful of times yesterday.
Yeah, Terrence Jones showed, type of player he's capable of being, and he's pound for pound our strongest player on the team, and he's using his strength. He's really taking advantage of Brandon Stevens in the weight room, and he's done a good job there. And then some of our blitzes with Darian and those guys, and O'Shea forcing the quarterback. That's a good thing. But yeah, it was good to get a hold of those guys. Both those guys are pretty slippery. They're tough to get to, and like I said, I was glad to see us get a few as well.
Your next game at Northern Arizona, you're going to go up against a Lumberjack team that a couple of weeks ago went to Tucson and beat Arizona, the Pac-12, but then last weekend they go to Greeley, Colorado, and lose to Northern Colorado. What are they going to bring to the table? What are you going to see when we line up against NAU?
They're going to be, despite what happened this weekend, they're going to be a very confident team, finally getting a home game after a big Pac-12 win. Like I said, they're going to, I know their offensive coaches very well. In fact, their offensive line coach, I gave him his first job at Cal State Northridge, and I've worked with their receiver coach at another school in the conference, and I've known their offensive coordinator since he was in high school. So, and I know what type of things they're going to run. They're going to have a smart offensive package ready to attack us in many different ways. And then defensively, their head coach, Chris Ball, he's a defensive guy by trade, and they're going to be stout on defense, and they have a tough front and some really good linebackers that fly around. So they're going to be a fired up team having a home game, and they haven't been home since the first weekend. And them get going in Big Sky play. It's a tough place to play with the altitude and all that. Even though we're at 5,000 here, they're at 7,200. But it still just feels a little bit different there. So we'll have to do a good job hydrating, and you got to start early in the week with that. So flying and then playing in a dry environment, much like here, you have to do a lot of hydration during the week.
Everybody always asks about the elevation there, over 7,000 feet, and you play at around 4,500. Is there really an impact with that?
I don't, I was with a Cal State Northridge team in 1998 that went out there and won 41-10. So, and that's going from sea level to 7,200 feet. So I don't know. I like, the old old basketball coach at UNLV, Jerry Tarkanian. He told his team once about playing at altitude, like going from Vegas to Utah, or going from, you're not there long enough for it to affect you. So we're only going to be there about 24 hours, so it won't affect us. We're not there long enough for it to affect us.
All right, let's talk about a couple of your players. Let's start with one of them that Saturday just looked like a box of dynamite exploding every time he touched the ball, and that's Benji Amayabu out of Sherman, Texas. Scored twice, had the 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, which is the second longest in ISU history, and then a 29-yard touchdown catch from Tyler Vanderwall. It really his first real significant action of the year. He got in a little bit against Nevada, but talk about how you guys found Benji and how you got him signed.
Yeah, Benji's a very interesting story. He, he was a COVID signee. We didn't have official visits or any of that back during last year, as a senior year in high school. And one of our coaches put on Twitter, one of those things, hey, drop your film. I'm evaluating running backs today. And I just pulled up Benji's film and brought it to us. And we said, yeah, let's offer this kid. And ironically, a young man that I know very well, is head coach of Southeast Oklahoma Division II school. He, Tyler Fenwick's his name. He called me. He goes, you guys recruiting Benji? It's like, yeah. And he's like, shoot. He was because we thought we had him. And he was just a guy that was under the radar, but you watch his film and you watch his high school film. If you pull him up on the internet on his high school film, it looks just like what he did Saturday. So we got him. He comes from a football rich area, in that Dallas kind of, north of Dallas in that area. But so he sent his film. We had a virtual official visit day with him and a couple other guys that signed with us, and he told his mom right then and there this is a place where he wanted to come.
Let me guess, like Michael Dean was told, we're going to find ways to get the ball in your hands.
Yeah, that's he's kind of started that a little bit, looking a little bit like Mikey. Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, but I know we're going to probably expand his role.
Let's talk about backup quarterback Hunter Hayes, who's now gotten significant time in 2 straight games after injuries to Tyler. Hunter's out of Wyoming, where his dad coaches. What I'll bet a lot of fans don't know is that both of his parents are former ISU athletes. His dad, former ISU defensive end Josh Hayes, who was an all-conference player and still holds some records at ISU, and his mom Tammy played volleyball for the Bengals. Now, obviously, he has Bengal blood in him, but talk about how a walk-on comes in and becomes your number 2 quarterback.
Yeah, well, Hunter, he came to us, like I said, his dad is awesome, and I think his mom played volleyball with our athletic director Pauline, but his dad on the official visit, we brought him in, and it's the middle of winter. His dad's wearing shorts and sandals. I love it. And the dad was great. He was like, hey, I don't want to be part, I'm going to let him make his decision. And we do bring walk-ons in on official visits at times, especially since, Hunter had a legacy background. And we liked him as a walk-on. And during the fall, practices, and then during spring, he first of all, he held in every game. And here we are going to kick a field goal against Southern Utah to beat them. And here's a true freshman who was in high school a year ago, holding the ball and got it down, and we made the kick. But Hunter improved over the summer camp, over fall camp, and was our steady number 2. And we throw him in there, and he just needs to learn to get down. He doesn't need to be taking hits. This isn't, as I said today when we were watching the film, this isn't Cody High School versus Thermopolis. All right, this is big boy football. But Hunter's a tremendous competitor, tremendously smart. I think he's close to a 4.0 GPA, and that's what you want your quarterbacks to be. And I said, love his dad. His dad's always in sandals, even if it's 3 feet of snow outside.
That's the way he played football too. He was one tough cookie. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I look at Hunter. He's got great size. It looks like he's got really good strength in his arm. The thing about it, though, I look at his profile photo on the roster online, and he looks like the bully on the movie A Christmas Story with
Scotty Farkas.
There you go. Yeah, that's who he looks like in that
Yeah.
picture, and I just had to laugh when I saw that.
Well, if we get him a raccoon hat and yeah, let him run around and chase whatever his name is. Yeah, Scotty Farkas. That's who he looks like.
All right, Rob, let's close this one out with another question about the head coach. Give me the names of 3 music groups that are on your favorite playlist.
Well, you could ask anybody on this team, and the first thing if you asked anybody up and down the roster, they'd say Metallica is number 1. I will listen to Metallica, Montgomery Gentry, Van Halen.
There you go. Good stuff, Coach. Looking forward to talking to you Saturday.
Yep.
On to the 1:30 pregame show and kickoff set for 2. Good luck this week, and hopefully we'll be bringing a win home from another dome.
Yep, it'll be a fun plane trip home. Those are fun.
That's your Coach's Corner today with ISU head coach Rob Phenicie. I'm Jerry Miller. Go Bengals.
Thanks.